Ora, boa noite a todos. Estamos aqui de volta para mais uma live da Multipolar TV. A nossa live de hoje será uma live especial. Temos uma convidada bem especial da China, a jornalista, comentadora, Li Jingjing, que também o seu trabalho também é bastante conhecido no canal CGTN da China. E hoje teve a simpatia de aceitar o nosso convite, aproveitando que ela está no Brasil a acompanhar o G20 e veio aqui ao nosso canal Multipolar TV. Eu só estou a fazer esta breve introdução porque o resto da live será feito em inglês, ok? Então eu só vou pedir-vos para terem paciência. Aqueles que tiverem alguma dificuldade com o inglês hoje terão que assistir a live em inglês. Depois nós, a posterior, vamos fazer a legendagem para português e vocês poderão ver a live uma segunda vez e acompanhar os temas, está bem? Pedir-vos só para irem deixando o vosso like, subscreverem o canal, relembrar também as pessoas que esta live estará em formato multicanal. Estaremos a transmitir para o Notícias Independentes, o canal M65, o canal Mídia Livre e também o CMC Notícias. Esta live será uma das lives que estará presente no CMC Notícias. No caso da Convenção Multipolar de Canais, o CMC Notícias terá no Telegram. So let's pass to English.
Thank you.
We have a little presentation in Portuguese before, just to give a heads up to our community, our public. Miss Li Jingjing, how are you?
I'm great. Now I'm in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, covering the G20 Leader Summit and also Chinese President Xi Jinping's state visit to Brazil. He will meet President Lula in a few days. I've been very busy in the past few days, but I'm grateful that I'm in Brazil and witnessing this important moment. I'm so glad and so thankful that you invited me to be on this channel to talk to our viewers, audiences from Portugal, from Brazil, from the Global South. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Thank you very much. We are very thankful ourselves and very happy for having you here. So first of all, I want to show to our public, if you want to follow the work of our guest today, you can go to Instagram. Okay, I will show here. You have here JJ on the road. A really nice name, by the way.
Thank you.
You can see the videos from Miss Lee, and I hope you like it because she's really friendly in all the videos she do here. Okay, so after this, I'm going to ask also our public to see a little video.
I hope you guys won't be too shocked because I think it's a video about my recent tour in Brazil, right?
Yes.
I tried a little bit, so yeah, I hope our audiences will like it.
Just give me a moment because I have to put it here. I have some materials here prepared to talk with you related to the questions I want to make. We have here already lots of people giving the hello to you. So hello everybody. Thanks for being here today with us.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Li Jingjing from China. Greetings to you all.
So, well, let me put here some comments from our public. Hello, Esmeralda. Hello, Luis.
That's the comments from our viewers
Hello,
watching
guys.
now, huh? Hi.
Yes. Hello, Carlos. Hello, Bernardo. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here. So let me only put here the video. And give me just 1 minute.
Okay. Thank you,
Just give me
everybody,
one
for
moment.
joining and watching this live
Meanwhile,
stream.
let me put here something to Miss Li Jingjing.
Okay.
By the way, Jingjing.
Yes, my name is Jingjing. You can call me Jingjing.
So first, I want to show you this graphic. It's important because I have received a few minutes ago, and I want to talk about this graphic here. So um, this graphic is about European Union, where I am now. I'm in Portugal. So
Mm,
is just to show our public that until few months ago or 2 years ago, the Chinese and the Russian economies were working with the European Union. Okay, at this moment, the US have surpassed the relations of China and Russia. Okay, we have talked here about this in the past. The US normally have a behavior that is when it needs pull European Union down the bus, and we our economy is used by the US to give some leverage, and this is a really big problem for us. So just to say this, because we are talking
mm,
about Brics, and we are
mm,
talking about important things here that are related. And at this moment, European Union is with have some real trouble uh, regarding the economy because US is putting some sanctions, is giving some difficulties on our bilateral relations with China, with Russia, with other countries. So here we have a very big problem. Uh, we are talking about this more on the show. So let me put here a little video. So okay, with Miss Li with Jinging. You are a good dancer, I must say. Okay, you are a good dancer.
Thank you. You're very kind.
You can do samba. You can do samba. I must say that. So let me put this
I
process.
tried. I'm not sure whether I was good. It was my first time dancing samba. I tried to learn. I heard people in Brazil really love dancing, so I tried to blend into the culture. Well, oh, I saw a comment saying I look like a Brazilian woman. Thank you.
Well, really nice. Well, the video is processing here. Just give me
Mm,
2 seconds. Sometimes the
okay.
platforms don't help us. Don't help us. So
Yeah.
we have to
While
give
you are
a
loading the
little time.
video, I can explain to our viewers,
Yes,
because I
yes.
arrived to Brazil in Rio like a few days ago, and I was really excited. I want to embrace the culture here. So I think, what's the best way to make friends in Brazil? Wow, maybe dance. So I gave a little challenge to myself. I know there are different types of dance in Brazil, because the culture in Brazil is just so diverse, just as diverse as like Chinese culture. We have a lot of similar in this regard. So like I want to learn about the diverse cultures. So how about I communicate with people through dancing, since I don't speak Portuguese, but dancing is the common language that we all know. So I went to different places to learn African Brazilian dance, some dance moves from some tribes, and also samba. Try to learn different music and funk dance as well. And I'm not good at any of this dance because it's my first time to try this type of dance, but I totally enjoyed it because even though I don't speak Portuguese yet, but people showed me the greatest welcome. And we had so much fun interacting with people from every race. Oh, I love it. So I make a video about my experience embracing Brazilian culture through dancing. So I don't know whether the video is uploaded yet.
Yes, it's ready. It's ready. Yes, it's ready.
Okay.
Let's
Louis
let's
gonna
do this.
show it to you.
Let's show.
Okay.
What's up, guys? It's Jingjing here in Brazil. I came all the way from China, and let's see whether I can make as many friends as possible by learning all types of Brazilian dances. Can you teach me your favorite dance moves?
Sim, querido. A natureza é nossa guia, o cocar a proteção. Jogatilante, tá banhando, tá lançando essa segura o tchau,
I made so many new friends in Brazil, and that's how we build connections, learning each other's cultures.
All right.
Really nice.
Okay.
Really nice. Really nice. We have subtitled in Portuguese just to it's
Thank
more
you.
clear to our viewers. So
How do our viewers feel about this video? Let me know. Leave your comments. Do I dance okay? What's your thought on this? Let me know, okay?
yes, guys, put your comments. Give us your feeling about the video on the chat. Okay. We have here a question. Where did Li work? Some Chinese media. Excellent communication. you want to answer this?
Sure. I'm a journalist from China. I've been working as a journalist in China for like 11 years now. So now I work for CGTN, the China Global Television Network. You probably know this media, CGTN. I also worked for some other media before. I cover politics, international relations. I'm a journalist and also a commentator, and very active on social networks. If you use Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you will find me there. I try to make all the information, all the China-related stories or Global South stories more viral on social networks because I feel the stories from China as well as the Global South countries are not being widely shown on international media. I want to make Global South voices much louder on the international platforms. So I try my best. I have some followers, quite a millions of followers across social networks. If you use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you can find me on any platforms. So, well, and here now I'm in Brazil. I also try to show Brazilian culture, the Brazilian voices. Unlike some Western media journalists, when they go to another place, they always show the very negative, but negative, but only a small scale case, a small scale story, but make it a big story. Try to paint this culture, paint this country in a negative light. but it wasn't my style. I think I don't like to tell other stories on behalf of them. I hope to let people tell their own stories. I feel like I know many China stories about China international media are wrong. Western media intentionally portray China in a negative light. Many of the stories they report are just pure misinformation, pure lies. So I think as a Chinese, I wanted to tell my story, my culture to global audiences. And I also want to work with our global South fellows. Let's tell our own stories, make our voice heard. Don't let some other journalists tell our stories on behalf of us. We can make our voice much louder. We can change the unjust world order together. So, well, that's a little bit information about my profession.
Perfect. So here we have some comments. You are a beautiful dancer, so I think you're
Thank
okay.
you.
I think you're okay. So
Good.
if you don't know CGTN, you can go to the site. They have Spanish, English. So I have a suggestion to the CGTN. They can put also in Portuguese because we have Brics, Brazil in Brics. So we need Portuguese. We need Portuguese language here also. So we have
I know.
here some an article from Li Jingjing here about the China's method of politics. You can
Mm,
understand in this article how the Chinese politics works. Okay, it's
mhm.
another suggestion from our side. Okay, so uh, I want to talk about one thing also before I'm going to the questions. I understand China have scored a big goal in the last days with the inauguration of the mega harbor of Shanghai
Mm,
in Peru.
mhm. Yeah.
It's a really great thing. I have studied a little bit. A fully a fully automated harbor with a capacity of 50 containers an hour. It's really impressive.
Mhm.
It will boost the exchanges between Asia and South America big time.
Mhm.
It will bypass the North American harbors on Mexico and the United States. So we can say that the Shanghai harbor already put the United States to lose some money here.
But the thing is, this cooperation, I mean, whether the US like it or not, whether they lose money or not, it doesn't matter. Who cares what they think? Well, Latin American countries and China, we are all sovereign countries. If we want to work together, no one can stop us. So,
Yes.
and like you mentioned, this mega port is really, really important. It's the first largest and green deep water port in Latin America that will revolutionize the trade between Latin America and Asia. So this is a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's really important. I'm sure more projects like this will carried out in many countries in Latin America. And you mentioned like it will cost America lost some money, but the thing is, did the U.S. really care about the Latin American countries in the past few decades?
Of
Did they
course not.
really try to improve infrastructure economy of any of these Latin American countries? Did they try to improve the bilateral ties with these countries? If they didn't make such effort, why would they care that some other countries want to have a better relationship with these countries? So yeah, like it doesn't matter whether the US like it or not. It's it's kind of like the maybe it's a metaphor. It's like you left your partner neglected, and then someone else come here. You suddenly feel protective, but you ignored this person for such a long time. And like I mentioned, we are all sovereign countries. We want to work together. It doesn't matter whether US like it or not. I'm sure, like for Latin American countries, they want to develop. They want to develop their economy. They want to improve the livelihood of their people. So they will try to work with anybody who can improve their economy. And China made such an offer. So it's very natural that Peru or any Latin American countries want to do more trade, do more businesses with China, because it's basic instinct, it's basic common knowledge. We need to improve the economy, improve the trade, so we can provide for our people. So yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. My point of view is normally the United States don't like if the countries are working without them. Okay, even if their pockets are not messed up. Okay, but in this case, their pockets are also messed up. So they really don't like this type of things. Because
Yeah.
they will retaliate somehow. We already know. Or they will try to do something. But I have understood a little bit of the process of the Shanghai Harbor, and the time gain is wonderful. I understand the before you have to go to Latin America, you have about 40 hours of sea route, okay, 40 hours, and now you have maybe between 22 and 28, so a very good gain of time in here. So the logistics here talks on money, on time, so it's very good. And the quantity of exchange that can be done through this port is big time. It's very big. So it's a really good thing to Latin America. I wish all the best here. And this takes us to the first point of our conversation today. Is about the relations between China and Latin America. But first, we are going to talk about China and Brazil. So Brazil is a quite disputed country in this geopolitics chessboard. And if we consider that Saudi Arabia is still with one foot in Brics and one foot out of the group, and Brazil is the only country of the American continent in the members of in full right of Brics. Brazil is right now have a target on its back from the U.S. administration. How do you see the China-Brazil relation? It's good, it's strong. China have to have some careful here because of the it's American continent, so it's already a problem.
Okay, for China and Brazil relationship, there's a really long history between China and Brazil relations, long history of friendship and exchanges, either cultural exchanges or trade exchanges. So the relationship didn't just start today. Some Western media were trying to make it sound like Brazil just chose China now. No, this year we celebrate 50 years anniversary of the diplomatic ties between Brazil and the People's Republic of China. And I don't know whether anyone have read the article that President Xi Jinping published on Brazilian media. I also published it on my Twitter. it was published on the what's the name of this media? It's called I don't know how to pronounce it. Folha de Sao Paulo.
Folha de São Paulo. Folha de São Paulo,
Yeah.
yes.
The article is in Portuguese, so you can find it on this media, read it in Portuguese. I also published the full English translation on my Twitter. You can also find it. The whole article, he published that upon his arrival in Brazil. This long article lays out the long history, connections, and friendship exchanges between China and Brazil. I recommend you to read it. And most importantly, it also lays out the future goals between the two countries. And today, November the 18th, at the opening of a G20 Leader Summit, President Xi also spoke at the event. He met with the President Lula. And in the next 2 days, they will have a official meeting between the two leaders in Brasilia, so to discuss the more cooperations between China and Brazil. So we will see what they will publish. The thing is, Brazil is longtime friend of China. Brazil is the first country in Latin America to have a comprehensive strategic partnership with China. So yeah, that's the history. And also, President Xi is very clear. He hopes to further enhance the China-Brazil ties because China, the largest country in Asia, Brazil, the largest country in South America, they have many people have put hope on these two countries to lead the drive of protecting the common interests of developing countries. Because in the past few decades, even after the World War II finished, the developing countries, some of the developing countries, they seem they kicked colonizers out, but in fact, the colonizers never really left. And their developing nations, global South countries, have been suffering from exploitations, interventions, like to this day. So the global South countries have been living in an unjust world order for a really long time. But we can see through Brics, through these organizations like Brics and China Brazil relations, global South countries are pushing to change the unjust world order, to protect. They want to protect, make sure global South developing countries' voices and interests will be protected in the world. And so yes, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty positive that China and Brazil relationship will be even more enhanced and will lead the drive of building a sustainable and just world order. And I also want to say, because today I was very impressed. I'm sure many people from the global South countries will be very happy to hear President Xi's speech today, because this morning at the G20 summit, the first session is a session about fighting against poverty and hunger. And Brazilian President Lula officially launched this new project. It's called, I forgot the full name, but it's also fight against poverty and hunger. And so China and Brazil have the same goal to fight against poverty, to reduce the poverty, reduce hunger. This morning, during the speech, President Xi Jinping said, you know, prosperity and stability would not be possible in a world where the rich people get richer and the poor are made poorer. So countries should make global development more inclusive, beneficial to all, and most importantly, more resilient. And a few years ago, China hosted G20 Leader Summit in a Chinese city called Hangzhou. And this year, the G20 Summit is held in Rio in Brazil. So from Chinese city Hangzhou to Brazilian city Rio, leaders have been working on the same goal, is to build a just world of common development, that every country, people from every class have the equal right to develop. And also, Chinese president also this morning during his speech, he mentioned we need to support the developing countries in adopting sustainable production and lifestyle, properly responding to challenges like climate change, biodiversity loss, and environmental pollution. So the Chinese leaders and Brazilian leaders are working on the same goal to make sure we're living in a sustainable planet and also reduce poverty and hunger. With this same goal, I'm pretty sure no matter in which framework, either under BRICS, either under our bilateral times, either under UN Charter, China-Brazil relationship will get much better, and as well as the whole global South will be much more united.
Okay. Very well. That's the main goal that I understand. At least Brazilian side and the Chinese side are aligned. It's the poverty alleviation and the war against Hungary. I understand this. The first managements of Lula in Brazil, the first administrations, Lula have achieved a good fight against poverty and against the Hungary in Brazil. After Bolsonaro later have put Brazil against again in the poverty line, really difficult position to Brazil. However, I believe Lula is care about this, even with the limitations from government because the government of Lula da Silva is quite in the edge of the knife because it's a really splitted forces there. But about China, we can have no doubt about it because 800 million that get out of the extreme poverty, and it's not a simple thing because it's not only 800 million, it's about to have schools, have education, have wealth near. You have internet, have housing, have water, so have electric energy. So it's a quite spectacular achievement for China. About our second question, it's about all Latin America, not only Brazil. We have seen in the past year that BRICS have tried to extend the Latin America countries. We have a tentative to add Argentina in the BRICS. However, Argentina get out of the BRICS before entering BRICS with the president Javier Milei. This was a blowback to the Latin America relations with China. What do you think?
Well, it's a pity, of course, but it's the country's leaders' decision. So I think for China, we respect it. Because China always adhere to the non-interference policy. So no matter what the country's leaders decide and who runs the government, doesn't matter to China. China respect that because it's the choice of the people in that country. So let's see. But still, even though with the ups and downs, I still have a lot of hope in BRICS. BRICS has been quite successful in the past few years, and now there are many new drives from BRICS countries building a multipolar world, trying to put forward a new global reserve currency, trying to maintain the stabilities. So I still have a lot of hope in BRICS. Of course, some countries may under pressures from certain countries because as you are building something new that may change the world, of course, people that don't like it will give pressure, will try to create some turbulence to stop you. But we need to look at the trend. We need to look at the world's demand. Can the few people really stop this? Global South countries represents probably 60, nearly 70% or even more population in the world. So Global South countries represents the much larger population in the world. And when some Western leaders, when they say, the world thing, when they say world, they only mean a few Global North countries, which
It's
only
the golden billion you're talking about.
Yeah, it only represents 30% of the world's population.
15%, I believe you are talking about.
50, even less. So if we look at the people's will of the world, people want a much better, just and multipolar world. You see, in the past few decades, even after World War II, the world is not just because neocolonialism, neoliberalism has designed to purposely put Global South countries, developing countries, at the bottom of global value chain. What does it mean? It means Global South countries will keep being the blood bag of the Global North countries. You keep selling your raw materials, your minerals, your gold, your vegetables, fruits to the global North at a very low price because it's raw material. But Global North will sell their high-tech, high value-added products to Global South. So in that case, you will never outcompete the Global North. Some people will very discriminatingly saying, well, because you guys are lazy, because you guys are stupid, you cannot develop, so your economy will never be better than us. No, these Global South countries were put in that position. It's exactly what neocolonialism has designed to do. Global South were designed to put at the bottom of global value chain. Africa, Latin America, Asia were designed by the Global North to stay poor. But now, China, you mentioned that China successfully lift 800 million people out of extreme poverty. Yes, that's incredible. Why? Because China, ever since it was the PRC, ever since it was founded, a lot of Western economists, capitalists have criticized China's development method. At every turning point, China has always been criticized. Wow, you will never work. Oh, this system will never work. Oh, this policy doesn't work. But look at China now. China didn't listen to the Western experts, Western economists to do certain things because these Westerners used policies that worked for Western countries, for Western economies that have a totally different historical backgrounds, colonizations and their industrializations. It doesn't work for China. So China, from the beginning, adopt very unique development path that suits China. We call it socialism with Chinese characteristics. So because China always design policies that works for themselves, that works with its history and cultural backgrounds, so China successfully get out of the value chain. So China is the only developing country that escaped the trap that Global North had put on Global South. China, just think about it. So far, China is the only country that escaped the trap and get out of the bottom of the global value chain and even outcompete many Western countries in technology, in economy, as a world's second largest GDP. And now China has the cutting edge technology like 5G, electric vehicles, even though some Western countries saying China is stealing intellectual property from them, but actually
Microchips also.
Yeah. But the thing is, they don't even have this cutting edge technology that China has. So how can China steal something that you don't even have? So because of China's success, I think it inspired many developing countries and global south countries to think, wait, we have very common history. We experienced the war, we experienced colonizations, but how did you do it? Because I would say Western countries have been gaslighting global South countries for a really long time. If you failed, if your economies failed, Western economists will only say, "Oh, because you are not using the proper capitalism. Oh, because you have a wrong system." They always say something wrong about you. They always say something wrong. That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting, textbook gaslighting. But now
Totally.
China's success, yeah, proves okay. So there's alternative. There's alternative that doesn't fit any criteria that Western experts have been saying. So and also China has been encouraging our fellow global South friends to also search a development method that works for you. Even though I know many experts are very interested in China, but China doesn't recommend that you copy China's method. No, China never is not interested in exporting its policies or its systems. Chinese leaders have been saying this out loud. We develop because we adopt socialism with Chinese characteristics. So every other country is, if you want to develop, you need to find a system with your country's characteristics. Maybe a system with the Brazilian characteristics, a system with the Portuguese characteristics. Doesn't matter if you call socialism, democracy, or whatever system. Just find out what works best for you. This is the thing. So, I've been talking for too long. Maybe I got off the topic.
Don't worry.
But yeah, so I hope you like my answer. What's your
Yes,
next
yes.
question?
Yes, and well, I have asked about because of Argentina position, because it could be a strong blowback on Brics.
Oh,
However,
well,
we can see it's not a very big blowback, because this year we have 13 new partner members. It's quite
yes.
good, with a very big population in the project. We are talking
Hmm.
about countries like Nigeria with 200 million people. We are talking about Indonesia with almost 300 million. Vietnam, also a very big country, almost 100 million people. So
Mm.
we can see the Brics is the project that's it's we can predict that is the project from the global south on the long term. Um,
Yeah.
but we still have an empire that will give a fight. Unfortunately, however, let's see what we have here.
Yeah.
You are talking about misinformation about China and gaslighting. That's
Yeah.
a quite good idea, because United States, as someone put here on chat and reminded me, I didn't put this on the questions, but it's a very good question. US approved the financial law to support all who wants to correct Chinese disinformation. The project, it's not quite like Manuel put it here written. It's about the malicious information from China. Uh,
Yeah.
and this is a project, a law of the House of Representatives on US of $1.4 billion, that US could use this money to give more houses to the people, to give wealth, to give some infrastructures to American people. However, they are put this money to the information war,
Mm.
if you want to call it like this. But you know this project. You already heard it.
Of course, and that's the thing we have been fighting against. This is not new because the U.S. have been constantly spending billions of dollars of sponsoring negative stories, negative news about China a long time ago. So basically, many of the negative stories you heard about China were like intentionally created. So the recent news is, I think the House passes 1.6 billion US dollars to deliver anti-China propaganda overseas. This is the latest. But even before that, China, US in 2021, US passed. You can find it called Strategic Competition Act 2021 that the US officially see China as an enemy. They will put a bipartisan effort to counter China's rise militarily and in every way possible. So information
Economically,
war is So there's a how they want. Well, I hope they don't create hot war, but they will if they can. For example, the military alliance they created in the Pacific Ocean, the so many military bases they put in the Pacific Ocean and on all these Asian countries. And second, the information war. It's the cheapest because you don't go to hot war, you don't use military, you don't use weapons. The information war started a long time ago. And actually, that's one of the reasons I became very vocal on social networks because I saw so many horrendous misinformations about China, totally wrong. That's why I became active on social networks, saying like, hold on a second, you don't speak for us. How about let me tell my story? And ever since then, I got a lot of followers from around the world. But
me
like you
too.
said,
Me too. I started my social networks for the same reason,
Mm,
because misinformation, fake news, and all of this. And I can tell you that China have a quite American strong person that probably will attack China in the next episodes. I can show you
of
here.
course.
I can show you
Mhm.
here one person specific that have good use here in Europe on Ukraine crisis from 2014, and now this person here,
Victoria
Victoria
Newland.
Nuland, have that supposedly she get out of office like most of the people have sold out the news. However, we can see here that she basically have promoted to a branch of CIA that uses color revolution, democracy formation, and so on and so on. So
Yeah.
we can see here that this person in particular probably give more problems to China in the next years. So good
Yeah.
luck with this. Good luck with this.
Well, we have been seeing this for so long, so we are prepared. We are ready, and I can give you an example. How much effort they put into bad mouthing China's Belt and Road Initiative. Um, I think several years ago, for example, the debt trap diplomacy. This term was basically invented with the sponsor from the U.S. government. They intentionally created this term to paint a negative light on China's Belt and Road Initiative. But well, in fact, Western countries, Western shareholders are the ones that actually put global South countries in that trap. And many scholars from Yale and Harvard and Columbus University, the Western University, have done so much research into it. And even they say what really keep African leaders or Global South leaders awake are actually the Western shareholders and the IMF and all this World Bank, these Western institutions. And even though they did borrow a lot of debt from China, but this money come from China were invested in, say, infrastructures like ports, roads, that in the long term you're gonna see the how it pay back, because it
Yes.
boosts the long-term productivity of a country. So eventually this country will have the ability to pay back the low interest rate the bond from debt from China. But the money that these global south countries borrowed from Western shareholders, from World Bank, from IMF, they come with so many conditions. Western leaders keep telling global south countries, you want to borrow money from us? Okay, then you have to do this, do that, or adopt this leader, adopt this system. And this money with a very high interest. So these countries just borrow money and to pay the last debt they borrowed from Western institutions. So they will never use the money to boost the productivity of the country. The money just go to fill the holes. That's the vicious circle.
Yes.
So that's the
Yeah,
difference, right?
here in Portugal, we have several cases like this. We have a really good history of debts, and the way we have paid our debts in certain way, because we still have debts to IMF with the Central Europe Bank and so on.
Mhm.
But the way we have arranged some money to pay the debts was about through privatization of some
Yeah.
strategic companies, like our energy infrastructure,
Mhm.
our banks, and so on. And just a curiosity, we have one of our main enterprises that was privatized was a company that right now one of the main owners is the Chinese state through Three Gorges. So we have a public sector enterprise that was privatized to a public state enterprise. So you can see here the problem.
Yeah.
But it's not the only one, because we have BlackRock also in the same company. So American interests, Canadian interests, and also companies here. But the problem here is the same method is privatization that are provoked by the rules of these organizations like IMF, World Bank, and so on. And the country, when is capable to resume what it did, it don't have anymore the really good companies that sustain the economy. And this is a very big problem, because it will take it decades to keep the really good track again. So this is a very big problem, and the Chinese companies are the big ones are almost everyone from states, or a very big branch is from the state. And this is crucial to have the strategic companies giving the profits to the economy again, to put the monies, giving a very good boost to the economy. So here in Portugal, the things and Europe in general, the things are not good. I have to say this. So we can see here the IMF the growth forecasts for this year, who are the four main economies on top. Brics countries. US is the fifth in growth forecasts. So we can see here the problem. The European countries, you have the first one of the European Union. You have the France with 1.1% of growth. So you can see here our problem. It's a very big problem. So next question you have here. So we have talked about China-Latin America relations. The next question is about the Belt and Road Initiative. We can see a very good connection between the Belt and Road Initiative and BRICS countries. But to be fair, the Belt and Road Initiative have already connected more than 100 countries with all the projects around the world. You can see here about the Belt and Road Initiative. What can you say about the objectives of this initiative on the long term? What is these objectives and the relation to BRICS development?
I think one major thing about Belt and Road Initiative is it's boost the connectivity among all these countries. So now when you see you mentioned over 100 countries have signed up to BRI, and you will see in these countries big infrastructure projects, including ports, road, high-speed rail, airports, buildings, and even water systems in many countries. These infrastructures are crucial to make people's life much easier and more convenient. And that's the basic needs. It meets the basic needs of the people. And it's important. And also the roads, ports, this connectivity is crucial, not just for people's lives, but also crucial for business and trade. And this comes from China's own development experience. In China, we have a saying in Chinese. It's called 要想富先修路. It means if you want to get rich, build roads first. This is a saying we've known since we were a kid. And now when we grow up, you see roads all over China. High-speed rails connecting every cities, every provinces of China. Travel in China is so easy. China is a huge country, but it's so easy to go one province to another province within a few hours, high-speed rail. Xinjiang province, huge province in China. This province alone has 27 airports. Even you're living in a village, you can take a fly to Beijing, and like 27 airports just in one province. Can you imagine that? In Xinjiang, they also built the first ever railway that circles entire desert. There's a desert in Xinjiang that is world's second largest shifting desert. World's second largest shifting desert. But China built a railway circling the entire desert, so people live around the desert, can move freely, can visit each other. And I'm a journalist that have traveled to almost all provinces, many villages in China, because I also want to see how the poverty alleviation projects carried out at the grassroots level. So in the past, during the 11 years working as a journalist in China, I visited many provinces and witnessed how these villages from a very shabby, very poor, very underdeveloped villages became revolutionized, became I won't say rich, but much, much better well off than they were before. I remember before 2020, I went to some villages in China. Some villages, there were no roads, and the villagers had to live in mud-built houses. When there's rain, there's also little rain in their houses. But now you go to China, you won't see these houses anymore. They all moved into a much bigger, much safer houses, and the roads have built connecting each village. The roads are connecting each household. The roads in villages are connecting each household, so the farmers can bring apples, tangerines they grow from their yard to their front door, and any businesses owners, any companies can go to the village, buy the orange from the door of a farmer's door. So I mean, this with just build the road, farmers can sell their products, companies can come in and buy the products, and they can also sell their products through e-commerce. So the village in a remote area can sell their products all over China, even all over the world. So this connectivity was crucial for China to lift its own people out of extreme poverty.
Yes.
So now China successfully did it. We like through BRI, this experience can be spread to other countries. I can give you some example how the BRI how is boosting connectivity in different parts of the region. Between China and Europe, there's a Eurolink railway. So it starts from a central city in China. It will go through Western China, Xinjiang in Western China, and then connecting Central Asia to West Asia and go to European countries. So products can go through these trains, can be sold through China, through Central Asia to West Asia to Europe, just through trains. And because of these trains connected some of the cities, some countries in Central Asia, West Asia, that no other countries were interested in connecting these places. So for the first time ever, the cities in Central Asia, West Asia were connected with railways. And then you look at Laos. Laos in South Asia was a landlocked country. But now they have their first ever high-speed rail. I don't know whether there's high-speed rail in Portugal. But,
Yeah, in Portugal we have high speed train. I don't know if you can call it high speed because it's not very fast. However,
yeah,
we have a small country also, so
Yeah.
we don't need a so very good
Yeah.
trains.
It's like
However, we have a
now-
problem. We have a problem if we want to go to France. 2,000 kilometers.
I
If
know.
we want to go to France on train, by train, we need almost 2 days to go, and it's a quite small journey. However,
Yeah, but like developed countries already have these infrastructures that connecting them with other developed countries. But global south countries, developing countries have been ignored. Like I mentioned, Laos was a landlocked country. Many Western countries came to Asia, but no one was ever interested in building a train, a high-speed train for these countries. They only care about bombing these countries to hell.
yes,
But no one built this trains. So because of BRI, Laos has the first ever high-speed train. Indonesia in Southeast Asia also has the first high-speed rail from Bandung to Jakarta. Like this, we see this story popping up in so many developing countries that have been ignored. These countries all have suffered colonization from Westerners, all have suffered wars, bombings from Western countries. They have been interacting with Westerners for a really long time. It wasn't that they just decided to turn to China now. I'm sure many of them wanted the help and sponsor from America, from Europe as well. But for the past maybe decades, 100 years, the Western country never even showed any interest in helping them to develop. So now there's a country that is willing to help, and they see the results. They have infrastructure, and they can sell their products, of course. So this Belt and Road Initiative is about connectivity, is about economic improvement. And when countries have economic improvement, there's stability. The most important thing is stability. People have no reason to go to war anymore because you are much better off. And this is especially important, I would say, in Central Asia and West Asia. Central Asia, Western Asia, I mean, we saw so many wars, terrorism attacks sponsored by UK, US. They want to control this land. They sponsored terrorists, created wars. Look, many of these countries, what they used to be, what they look like. So under Western interventions, these countries have suffered, but BRI can bring roads to them, can bring trades to them, can bring technology to these countries. This
Harbors.
country, yeah, these countries will have a chance to develop their economy, to provide food to their people. When you are much better off, there will be no terrorists. There will be like no one want to bomb their own houses. No one want to bomb their own farmland, right? So this is like a long-term development plan for the world. First, connect everybody. Second, let's all have a better economy, have better trade, and then let's all provide a much better life for our people, and then we all develop. So the message from China has been always very clear. There's enough room for everyone to develop. And one's win doesn't mean it's another person's loss. There's no zero-sum game. How about we forget the Western colonization, who only brings suffering to the global South? How about we use a different way that the Western countries use? Let's achieve common development. Let's achieve common prosperity. Let's choose win-win cooperation. So this is the message that BRI or China has been telling the world, that let's work together. That because we have a shared community, we have a shared future. Let's work together.
And there's a part of the Belt and Road Initiative that is not known for many from many people. It's the health Belt and Road Initiative, the health part of the Belt and Road, because lots of people knows the Belt and Road Initiative for the harbors, the streets, the roads, the bridges, and so on and so on. But there's no too much people that know the health the health part of the Belt and Road. That's very important also. That brings hospitals, that brings the vaccines, that brings all of these parts of health.
Schools.
Is very important. The schools, the education also. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. So we have 1 hour and 8 minutes of our live. So let me go a little bit quicker here, because I have one main question. Okay, it's about the G20. At the moment, what is the main points that you have seen in the G20? What is the points that you believe that will be the most more talked on the media worldwide? What do you think?
Because this year's main topic of this year's G20 Leader Summit is poverty reduction and sustainable development, which are very crucial. And I think this is the goal, and this is the most important message coming from this year's G20, is how countries can work together to eliminate poverty. How can we work together to make we live in a much more sustainable planet? And I also want to, Brazilian President Lula launched this new project. It's called Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. And China also announced they gonna join this project that Brazil launched at the G20. So China, Brazil on the same goal. Very important. I'm sure President Lula is very determined to reduce poverty. And Chinese president this morning, during his speech, he also announced a major plan that China unveils a big moves to support the global South for common development. And this plan is 8 actions. I can quickly point out these 8 actions because I think it's quite amazing. It matters to all of us. So China's 8 actions for global development. First is China will continue to pursue high-quality Belt and Road cooperation. We explained the Belt and Road cooperation. China will double down, investing more money into the Silk Road Fund. And besides building like the tangible infrastructure, China wants to pursue this Silk Road to be a green Silk Road and digital Silk Road, meaning we will have much more environmental friendly, sustainable projects, and we will see more technology, science, innovations that took place in BRI countries. Second, China's plan is to implement a global development initiative. So China will fund a Global South Research Center, Global South Research Center for Global South think tanks, Global South experts. The third one is China will support the development of Africa. Just a few months ago in September, there's a FOCAC meeting, the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, held in Beijing. And China already unveiled 10 plans to develop Africa. So China will double down, invest more money on investing Africa. Fourth is supporting international cooperation on poverty reduction and food security. So China announced they're gonna join this global alliance against hunger and poverty that President Lula launched at this year's G20. Fifth is China, Brazil, South Africa, and African Union is proposing an initiative on international cooperation in open science to help global South countries gain better access to global advances in science, technology, and innovation. Six
That's important.
is China will, very important, right? Six, China will support the G20 in carrying out practical cooperation for the benefits of the global South, such as using outcomes as the roadmap to increase investments in clean energy and high-level principles in bioeconomy to good effect. So we will see more green and sustainable cooperations. And seventh is China will implement the G20 anti-corruption action plan. They will strengthen cooperation with fellow developing countries in fugitive reparations and asset recovery, denial of safe haven, and anti-corruption capacity building. And eighth, the last action is China will keep pursuing high standard opening up. And China unilaterally opened its border to least developed countries. China will give all least developed countries having diplomatic relations with China's zero tariff treatment. So from now on to 2030, China's imports from other developing countries are likely to top $8 trillion. So, I mean, this is a much better offer to zero tariffs and imports more from least developed countries. So this is China's ambition and effort in continuing to give opportunities for global South countries to boost common development. So I think this year's G20, we will see leaders pushing a just world order, a world order that global South countries, least developed countries, have more opportunities to develop. And we will see more effort, joint effort to reduce poverty. Meanwhile, while we pursue economic growth, we need to make it sustainable. We'll make it like environmentally friendly because it's always the marginalized people or people in poor conditions that suffer the most from the environment climate change. So
It's
so
really
far, I think
nice.
it's quite. Mm.
It's really nice you have talked about sustainable development, because when I was studying about the Chancay Harbor in Peru,
Mhm.
I learned that the Chancay Harbor is 100% electric. So all the machines, all the vehicles that transport the containers and all of this is 100% electric. However, I've seen a CNN, a little article on CNN that even with these things, 100% electric, very good for for developing Peru and all of this, they have talked about what about the small fishermen on the region. They always have something to they always have something
Yeah,
to give
we joke about it.
a
It's kind
negative
of,
a negative image from China. So
yeah.
that's
They
that's
always use this phrase. We joke about it. Is at what cost? They always say,
uh,
"Oh,
what
okay,
cost
China
is
made
exactly.
yeah, China may air is cleaner, but at what cost? China's technology is much better, but at what cost? China cures cancer much faster, but at what cost? So they always make a positive things into something negative. Sour grapes.
It's always the same, always the same.
Yeah.
So I believe these projects are really good because we have the proofs that China development in other countries really is in search of sustainable development,
Mm.
and this is projects that will endure to the future. So it's they are very good.
Mm.
So I have here one last question, but is it's like. It's like a joke. If you believe that the G7 are still needed, or if G7 will end soon, because when you see the G7 meetings, they are not anymore the G7 first economies. So I don't understand why they are keep
Well, I
with
don't
these
make
meetings.
predictions. I don't make predictions, but let's see. I think it's interesting to see the declining powers trying to, I mean, well, they may still exist. I don't know. But the thing is, I always say, what's the phrase? How to say the phrase? The dying snakes is the most venomous. So as we are saying, the global south is rising. They're pushing for a new world order, but of course, the traditional Western countries probably not happy to see this. But can this stop the trend of a rising global south? Probably no. But we also need to be careful because, like we said, the dying snake is the most venomous. They probably were gonna do whatever they want to do to destroy the changes. They probably gonna attack, uh, you know, do whatever they want. So we need to be cautious. But I would say, well, if China's development history wasn't easy. If you want to change something, you will struggle. You will fight for it. You'll experience turbulence. You will face strong feedback. But as long as we work together, you're determined, you're smart, always come out with a good plans, you can win. So I have the confidence because I'm a very positive person. I always very positive about my goal or the future. So I think it doesn't matter whether G7 will exist or not. Let all of us unite and fight our goal, and I hope we will win.
My worry about G7 is that in the last meetings of this group, they they only have really one goal: is China is the enemy. So I believe this is a really a group of bullies in the courtyard of the school. So this is
Yeah.
a really strange thing to these developed countries that I don't understand really well. For for our friends at home, if you want to understand more about the Shanghai port, Shanghai harbor, you can see here in CGTN, you have a CGTN in Spanish also. So you can see here you have a very good piece, the Shanghai. It's really good to understand the project, the geographic location, the numbers of the statistics of the project. So this is a project that the inauguration was last week. So it's a really new thing. So you can check it here on CGTN. Only to end our conversation. I only want to go through. Do you have 5 more minutes, Li Jingjing? Sorry, 5 more minutes.
Oh, uh, for what?
So I'm just going to show some news. It's really quick. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
sure.
five
Okay.
minutes. It's about international relations and the economy, the war, the economic war. So really quick, we have here this news about Portugal. Okay, this is about Huawei. We have here. Let me put this. New Portuguese government to keep ban on Chinese 5G equipment. Okay, this is from September. So Portugal, it will continue to ban Huawei, even with we have already a case in the justice with China, because Portugal want to keep the ban. The problem of this is that if Portugal with this decision can have a problem of $1 billion, something like this. It's because the loss with this technology from China could be $1 billion. It's a very big loss for Portugal, just to keep an hard hand with China. I don't understand this politics, because Portugal is one of the few countries with this hard line with China relating to Huawei. I don't understand why, but this is a news from Reuters. Okay, we have here another one about technology. Also, it's about ASML. Also here. ASML is the one of the most technological enterprises in Europe. They build machines to print microchips, and at this moment, ASML have a very big drop on sales because of the sanctions against China, mainly imposed by US. But ASML is not a US enterprise; it's a Europe enterprise on Netherlands. So here we have again other company in Europe that is caught on the economic war between US and China. Just to end this news, I will put another one, and we will end our live. So the last one is this one. Is about Volkswagen. Volkswagen here. Up. Volkswagen cars stuck in ports over banned parts. This is on the United States. So Volkswagen have been banned from US market because of Chinese parts and Chinese software in the cars. So also here we have a very big company in Europe that is caught up in the economic war. But in Volkswagen case, it's really bad because there is another news from Deutsche Welle that talks about Volkswagen intends to shut 3 German factories because of these problems, because of the results of the company. So this is it. Just 3 news to show how we here in Europe are caught between the 2 giants economic war, and this means that Europe in the next years will suffer a lot if we don't change our foreign politics. So I hope here in Europe we can change this, and we can stop being the small guys that we have been in the last years. Well, today is this. Jingjing, thank you very much for your sympathy, for your dance moves, for all your insights. Really nice. I believe our public really like it also. We also have here some comments. I have one person here that he says, "I don't speak English, but your guest is very beautiful." So thanks for your comment. Also, it's a compliment to our guest is always good. So guys, don't forget to give our push the like button. Give us your comments in the end of the live. You can follow Jingjing social media. I already show you the Instagram, but she's present in all social media. You can search her, JJ on the road. You can share the work of Jingjing also. It's really nice, and she always talks like this, the friendship between peoples, and this is a very good thing that we have to talk about, because we don't need more wars, more problems. So I believe this is the way, is the friendship between the people, and we have problems that we need to resolve, like poverty, like the hunger, and all this to give us a better world in the future. Jingjing, last words, your final comments, so we can end our live for today.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really enjoy my time in Brazil, and I hope I invite more people from Brazil, from Portugal, to visit China, to see China for yourself, because we need to start building people-to-people connection first, so we can understand each other. So yeah, come to China. And if you want to know anything about China, you can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, by searching my name, Li Jingjing. So yeah, that's it.
It's really one of my dream trips is for China. I really want to go there. So yeah, I want to know the country. It's a very big country with lots of culture, and I want to know all of this. So thank you again, Jingjing. Thank you a lot. I hope we can talk again in the future. I hope you have a really good time in Brazil, and have a good work there, and a good return to China after, so we
Thank you.
can talk again in
Yeah.
other day. So thank you very much.
Thank
Pessoal,
you.
muito obrigado a todos. Obrigado a todos. Espero que tenham gostado. E até à próxima live. Um abraço. Bye bye.
Bye bye.